Good morning, morning, everybody. Whew, man, I gotta say I slept pretty good last night. Pretty good. Slept pretty good last night. Um, hey, I feel enticed to say something or inclined to say something to everybody out there looking at um, my video. Um, Remember this: no matter how hard it is right now for you and your family, somebody else is dealing with something 5 to 10 times worse. So be happy, and know that you're blessed no matter what it is you're going through. Um, you're probably at home, you probably got a roof over your head, your bills are paid, your light bill, water is still on, you still got a car to drive. Um, so be thankful, and blessed for what you have. I was just uh, something just hit me, and it's just something I just wanted to put out there. So on another note, I'm sitting in my car. Can't say car. I'm sitting in my truck over here in Phoenix, doing my 34-hour reset. Um, I was, I call it rolling on fumes. Here it is. I ran pretty hard last week, and I was getting a lot of hours back. 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours. Well, I think one was like, no, not 10. Yeah, one was like 10, I think. At the end of the day, I came up to a 3, and I was gonna get a 6 back, 6 hours back. So yesterday, when I got to the yard, I just said, I'm just gonna do my 34-hour reset and get my full 70 back, instead of rolling on these hours, recap, instead of getting these recap hours back. So um, everything again, I gotta say everything is still going good. Had to go into the office and take care of a few things, and me being the person that I am, I'm going to go back and double check in about an hour just to make sure everything is good. Um, Yesterday, I dropped off a load over here in Phoenix at CSI, etc. Um, if you guys, well, I haven't even posted yet, but when you guys see my video, I actually picked that load up, or picked that trailer up at the LA Convention Center on the South Hall, which was downtown LA, in the meat of it. So thank God I went in there. I bobtailed in there. Bobtail meaning, for you guys who don't know, bobtail is when you go into a location and you don't have a trailer. Okay, so I bobtailed into it with the intention to pick up a trailer and bring out with me, which is authorized by night by the dispatchers. So I picked the trailer up. Um, I was already tight on my hours, but my key and my goal was to get that trailer. Man, I hope I'm not talking and spitting as I'm talking. But anyway, my goal was to get that trailer, get out of LA, get out of downtown LA, get out of LA, period, as far as I could. And it was about, I didn't leave there prior to about 9:50 at night. I drove as far as I could, shut down at in Moreno Valley, at the mall over there. I think it was a Costco. I did go over to the Walmart shopping center and got ran away. Security guard came in there, and he was like, knock, knock, knock. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, you can't. He said, are you delivering? I told him no. He said, you can't shut down over here. Um, so I was like, all right, no worries. Um, so I actually got back under the wheel. Still had an hour maybe to go. Rolled over, went someplace else and parked. Back then, seen some empty trailers, some empty trailers. Felt it was okay. Another security guard rolled up. Different company, different security guard. Hey man, I'm sorry man, I can't. I'm not trying to be mean or funny or anything. He was like, but you can't park here. company don't allow, you know, drivers or trucks to park here. So this time I'm like, okay, I'm like, all right, well, where can I go? He was like, I can't tell you where to go, but he was like, if you look around here, drive out here, swing to the right, you look around, you see other trucks parked. So I was like, okay. So I seen about 4 other trucks parked. Great. So I rolled up, I parked, and I was there for the night. The bad part was when I went off duty, it was late, so that means I wouldn't get my 11 hours and 14 back until probably about 9:45, 10 o'clock the next morning. The load I was under, it had a window of 8 to 12. So I sent a note in, or sent a freeform message in to dispatch and told dispatch, hey, unfortunately I'm running out of hours, won't be able to get this load there on time. So they sent me an email back saying, when do you think you'll be able to get it there? And I told them probably I looked on my trusty Rand McNally, and told them probably by about 3:30, and so he gave me the ample time to get it there, and luckily even on the bill of lading it said please be there by 4 at the latest. So I was like, okay, cool. Even if I don't get there by 3:30, I'll be there by 4. And I did. I got there really tight on 4, but I got there. Dropped the trailer off, or backed into door number 5 like they asked me to. Dropped it off, and bobtailed over to the yard, and parked, and started my 34-hour reset. So that's what I'm doing now, just relaxing and taking care of some business, and trying to get things back under control. You know, when you're not home 24/7, and you know your job as a husband, as a dad, as a provider, as a helper in that house, it ain't over just because you ain't home. You know, you still got tasks and things to do to get taken care of. Just trying to make sure my mouth. My wife be picking me, talking about when I talk out of one side of my mouth. But your goal is, you know, you still have things to do. You know, you still got a lot of things to get taken care of. So you just don't give up and just hope that, you know, your wife is going to handle everything. You know, you gotta help handle things too. So that's what I'm doing. You know, there are things I'm dealing with right now, and I'm trying to help my wife and get them taken care of, because the thing is, you don't want your family home or your spouse home stressing or having to deal with all these issues or things that are going on. Understand, when you get into this trucking business, it's not like a 9 to 5. You know, you don't see things don't shift overnight. You know, like a regular 9 to 5 job. You wake up, you put 2 weeks in, and then that 3rd week you get your paycheck. Like trucking, you know, you get paid weekly, but at the same time, you know, it's new. So you have to make sure, you have to monitor your hours that you're running, like if your miles you're running. So if you're running 200 and 300, 400, 500, 600 miles, and you know what you get paid per that mile, you know, you gotta run it. You know, you don't have to, but to be on top of your game and to know what's going on. Like my trainer told me, he said, I urge you to pay attention to your miles and your pay. So and with that, you know, I found a mistake. I thought things were taken care of, and they wasn't. So thank God I'm here doing my reset, and now I'm able to get it taken care of. Unlike, like I said in a regular job and regular pay, you know, your paycheck every 2 weeks. You know what it's gonna be. It's the same, not unless you put in overtime. But in this trucking business, if you don't get it taken care of from the beginning, it can hurt you because you know you're sitting back and your family is used to getting that paycheck every 2 weeks. And if you take in this, you get in this trucking business and someone make a mistake to your check, you know, it can hurt you. You know, it can start putting you in a place that you don't want to be in. So when you get into the trucking business, make sure that you get everything that you need to get taken care of first before before you just keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. You know, I'm gonna tell you, you get into the business and you start trucking and your pay is messed up and you're struggling, you don't see any income, the first thing you're gonna get is deterred because you're gonna be like, oh man, you know, I'm out here doing all this and I'm not getting paid and you know, it sucks. You know, it's not cool. Who want to do this? You know, if my pay is messed up. But you know, it's up to you, man, to maintain that thing and make sure all your stuff is taken care of. So, just a little food for thought. But for the most part, everything is good. Um, um, excuse me. There was a bug in there and it just kept bothering me, so just had to blow them out. But for the most part, everything is good. You know, Night is taking care of me. The loads are there, and I dig it. I gotta say, the loads are there, and I still dig it. And like I always say, like I'm telling you, if you still sit back struggling and you're on the fence, and I say the fence, I say the bench, and you don't know what you're gonna do, you ain't getting that playing time. You just sitting there, you know, on the fence like a crow, and just looking around at everything else pass you by. You know, you got to get going. You got to get going. You got to get up and you got to get going. Stop sitting there at home, you know, watching all these videos and trying to decide, am I going to move? You know, I watched these same videos, but then after a while something clicked, and then I just went for it. You know, I knew I couldn't go to a trucking school. Well, I knew I couldn't drop what I was doing and just go to a trucking school like in England or Swift or nothing like that. And because they wanted me to go through training during the week, and I couldn't do it. I know I needed income to come in, so I couldn't let my job go just yet. So I opted to go to training on the weekend, and it worked out. It made it a little bit longer, but it worked. I gave up my weekends. My family was on board with me, and everything worked out. You know, you have to see how it works for you. And then after that, I would say the second week, it was time to start taking tests over at the DMV. And I started doing that, passing them. Then we was on the pad, practicing in the trucks. And then, you know, I decided to take more tests or more endorsements, and I passed them. And then by the time training was over, it was time for me to take my DMV test. I took it, passed it, and then by that time, I had already started looking at some companies that I wanted to drive for, and I ultimately decided to go with Night, and here I am. For the time it took, I started May 25th. I was done by May, June, July. By the end of July, I think August 5th, I was already tested. I think the 15th, I was in orientation with Night, and I think starting on the 24th or September 24th, or so, I forget. I was in the truck, and in October, what is it? October 6th, I took possession of my own truck here at night, and I'm driving by myself. So, so it can happen. It could work. This is a long video. It's starting to get too long, so I'm gonna get ready to cut it short. So do what you're gonna do. Get off that fence, man. You know, I see guys out here and they doing it. They making it happen. They being careful, and you can do the same. All right. So stop sitting home. Stop wondering if, and get out here and support yourself. Support your family. They'll be okay. You know, I promise you, they'll be okay. They'll still continue to be up under the Lord's eye, the Lord's watchful eye, and He'll continue to bless them, bless your family when you're not there. They're not gonna forget you. Your kids ain't gonna look down on you, because what you're doing is you're not being a, you're not just sitting there. You're being a man, and you're being a provider, and you're helping. So get up and get going. Look at some of these other guys who I look at on YouTube a lot. I mentioned his name last time, Jacoby, the trucker. You know, he has his family, and he's out here trucking, and he's taking care of his family. I look at Dale Clay. You know, Dale Clay has his family, and he's out trucking. You know, nothing says that you have to be out for 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks at a time. But choose your company wisely. Choose a company who will allow you to have home time in 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever it may be, and get going. Get going. You know, it's not as difficult as you may think it is, and it's very rewarding. It's rewarding. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna cut this video short. I seen Mr. Sinister over here. He and I were talking a little bit last night, so I'm gonna go and yell at him a little bit again. He's a down to earth guy. He's a jokester. He's down to earth. He's real cool. So probably go talk to him a little bit more, and then that's about it. So God bless, man. Y'all take care. Get going. Get off that fence. Take care of that family, man. Take care of you and that family. If you need anything, you got any questions, hit me up. Email me. Send me your comments. Subscribe, and we'll go from there. All right. Y'all take care.